Hello there. Today I'm going to show you how to create an abstract growth effect, something like this, using the particle system in Cinema 4D. So let's get started. I'm here in a new empty project. I'm going to bring a 3D model. I'm going to use this hand 3D model. You can use whatever you like, or you can just use these primitive objects. Alright, before moving on, let's hide some viewport distractions. So go to the filter menu and turn off work plane and horizon. Create a connect object and put this mesh under the connect. Turn off the weld. For this effect, we are going to use the predator and the prey concept. For that, we need two different particle systems. One will be the predator, other will be the prey. So let's go to the simulate menu and create a mesh emitter. Select this group and change its display color to whatever you like. I'll also increase the size so that it's clearly visible in the viewport. And now let's change some particle settings. So go to the emitter. In the properties tab, I'll remove all the velocity. Now go to the emission tab and here drag this mesh in the geometry field and change the source to volume, lower the voxel size to 5 centimeters, change the emission mode to sort and increase the count to 500. Hide the mesh and run the simulation. You can see we are getting the particles, but I see a problem. So most of the particles are getting accumulated at this region and we are getting fewer particles inside these fingers. So to fix this problem, we can play with the distribution type. But before that, I'm going to change this pattern to grid. You can just leave it to random, but I like this grid mode better. You can see we are getting a much nicer distribution. So let's play with the distribution settings. I'm going to change this to fields and add a linear field here. So we have a linear field that's gonna control the distribution type. So select this linear field, come down and change the direction to +y. I'll go to the front view and just adjust its size. Alright, and now if you run the simulation, you can see we are getting fewer particles at this region and more particles inside the fingers. And that's what we want. So let's hide this linear field. And now we are done with the prey group. This time I'm gonna create a basic emitter and bring this down. Change its display color to red. Now go to the emitter, change the shape to sphere and reduce the size to 5 centimeters. And then change the emission mode to sort and reduce the count to something like 3. Go to the properties tab and reduce the speed to 10 centimeters. And now if you run the simulation, you can see we have the prey particle group and also our predator particles. Alright, and now let's add the predator prey modifier, bring it down and let's change some settings. So set this neighbor search to full, increase the pursuit radius to 35 centimeters and lower this flee strength to 0 because we don't want our prey particles to move around. And now Let's drag this predator group into the predator field and this prey group into this field. Let's increase the timeline, and if you run the simulation, you can see the predator particles are moving towards the prey particles, and that's what we want. But when they get in contact with the prey particles, nothing happens. We want some action to trigger when they get in contact with the blue particles, and we can do that in two ways. The first one is the easiest. You can see this contact setting. Unfold this, and here you can change the contact behavior. Right now it is set to none, and that's why nothing is happening. But you can set it to, let's say, kill prey, and increase the contact radius, let's say to 35. And if you run the simulation, you can see as they get in contact with the blue particles, they're killing the blue particles. Let's increase the radius to 80, and now you can see very clearly. Alright, but we don't want to kill the prey particles. We want to convert the prey particles into the predator particles. So you have to select this convert prey option, and here it is asking for the target group. Drag this predator group into the target field, and now if you run the simulation, let's lower the radius down to 30. You can see as these red particles are getting in contact with the blue particles, those blue particles are also getting converted to the predator particles. So that's what we want, and you can go with this option if you like. I'm going to use a different way. So let's set it to none, add a condition, and here you can specify your condition. But before that, go to the predator prey modifier, and then go to the output tab, and go to the prey option, and then check this was caught property. So this is a custom property that we can enable, and then go to the condition again, and here change the property to custom, and then select our was caught property. So when the prey particles get caught, we wanna switch the particle group, and for that we need a switch group modifier, and put this as a child of the condition. Make sure that it is a child of this condition. Go to the object tab, and here we need to put a target group. Now if you run the simulation, you can see it's working all good. And the reason that I am doing this way is because you can play with this chance setting. Right now it is set to 100%. There is a 100% chance that these blue particles are getting converted to the predator group, and it might be too chaotic. Let's set it to 5% and run the simulation again, and now you can see this is happening much slower. I think this is much better. I'm going to set it to 20%. Also you can play with the seed. So everything is looking good, but there is one more problem. We can see that these particles are moving everywhere. So let's add a collision tag on this mesh, and then get the colloid modifier. Select this collision tag, change the collision side to back. Unhide this mesh, go to the front view, select the predator emitter, and make sure it's inside the volume of our mesh. Hide the mesh again and run the simulation. You can see that these particles are staying inside the volume of the object, and this is looking better. Also, we don't want these particles to be always moving. To solve that issue, you can just kill them after a certain period of time, and to do that you can use another condition and this time I'm going to use this time condition. Select this time condition and let's change some settings. Go to the comparison option and change this to greater than or equals. Let's change the frame amount to 250. So we are saying that after 215 frames, we want some action to trigger. And this time we want to kill the particles. So let's add a kill modifier and put it as a child of the time condition. And here you can just lower the chance to 20%. You can see these particles are getting killed after a certain period of time. So this is working nice. And now we can just move on. I'm going to add a tracer and drag this predator group in the trace link. Also, I'm going to change the display color. You can see it's looking much better. We are getting this nice effect, and this is looking so cool. You can see after a certain period of time, all the particles die, and we are getting this nice shape. If you want, you can use the volume builder. Put this tracer under the volume builder, get the volume measure, change the voxel size to 0.5, select the tracer and change the radius to 1 centimeter and increase the density to 1. Also add some smoothing and just lower the strength amount. And you can see we are getting this nice looking mess. If you want, you can just go to the parameter and just change the seed value. We are getting a completely different setup. So yeah, we are basically done here. That's all for now. I hope you liked this video. As always, you can download the project file from the link in the description. And if you are new to my channel, then do subscribe as I will be posting more contents like this. And if you want to support my channel, you can become a member on my Patreon and you will get early access to my videos. So that's all for now. Like this video and leave your feedback. See you later.